he's reacting too, and Giovanni's like, shut the fuck up. And Persian's like, meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, he tells Persian to be quiet, and this is actually the first indicator in the series that Giovanni is actually a villain.
What is life? Is life's purpose to hang out on an island with your clone friends? Find out today on To Kill a Delibird. Welcome back to To Kill a Delibird, the Pokemon anime rewatch podcast. And today we will be digging into Special 1, that's what I'm going to call it, Mewtwo Returns, which is the sequel to Mewtwo Strikes Back. It's funny that he strikes back and then he returns. That's interesting to me. This is Graham, the guy who patters on about nonsense and is learning about Pokemon through this podcast. And I am joined by Kellan, the Pokemaniac, to help me along the way. Kellan, how are you doing?
I'm lovely.
Isn't that interesting that Mewtwo struck back and then he returned?
It is very interesting. I don't know if Mewtwo understands the concept of time. Or maybe, Mewtwo being as powerful as it is has a higher understanding of time and is thus knowledgeable.
Oh, the whole flat circle perspective.
Yeah, about how one strikes back before they return, Well, so maybe Mewtwo is actually right.
Yeah.
Have you thought about that?
I mean, cause and effect is totally different to him.
Checkmate, liberals.
I think you're right, because what is he striking back to? It doesn't matter, because he's a higher life form. Yeah, you solved it.
I can't wait for the next movie, Mewtwo Strikes, and that's the name, and it's him. He's at a bowling alley, and he's doing really well.
Oh,
he joined a league.
That's a pretty good. Mewtwo gets a turkey.
Yep, that's it.
Mewtwo Scared Stupid. I would love if they did like a spoof on the Ernest series, but with Mewtwo.
Is Ernest Gets a Turkey a thing?
No, it's Ernest Thanksgiving, I think.
Ernest Saves Christmas. I see.
Maybe there isn't a Thanksgiving one. Oh, but here's a picture of him in front of a turkey. I don't know.
This is what you've came here for, people.
Speculating about the Ernest movies when we're not that familiar with them.
Nope.
Well, Kellan, what's been going on? I already baked that turkey ahead of time in revealing that we are talking about Mewtwo Returns. I was wondering, Kellan, do you know anything about this special? Like, before we get into it, and it's an hour long, so we'll dive in, and we'll give it a bulk of the podcast to this special.
Mm-hmm.
But like, was it a direct to VHS thing, or what's going on here? Because I'm actually was not familiar with this thing before.
Okay, so it broadcast in Japan.
Oh, like on TV?
On TV, I believe, yes. Right after The Grassroot, which was the first episode we looked at last week. And then in the West, it came out on DVD. So it didn't seem to air. It wasn't in theaters or anything. But the DVD of Mewtwo Returns is actually where the untold story of Mewtwo's origin that we looked at the start of the first movie, that's where that came from.
Oh, that actually came out originally on this release.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Either that or it was. Was it a? Let me look at it.
I figured it was put on the VHS of the first movie, but I don't know.
Okay, so what it was is it was a part of the Japanese version of the original movie, and then it didn't. We got like a couple minutes of it in the West, but it didn't come out in the West in full until it was a bonus feature on the Mewtwo Returns DVD.
There you go.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Because it was adapted from the radio drama The Birth of Mewtwo in Japan.
I love how they use birth in their titles there. The Birth of Mewtwo, Lugia's explosive birth.
Well, it's going to get philosophical because, Mewtwo's quote-unquote birth is a major metaphorical key point of this special.
Well, yeah, totally. And I mean,
his birth or lack thereof.
It's even further debating the concept of birth than the old Macbeth trope, where he just, where Macduff just was born of C-section. And he's like, I was not born. I was ripped from the womb, and thus I can kill you.
And then the forest comes for them because everyone's dressed as a tree.
Yeah.
And that's just insane.
I mean, that's sick as fuck, Kellan. I don't know what you're talking about. It's funny. It is funny. Yeah.
That's like the one thing I remember from Macbeth. The trees are gonna come attack. Whatever.
Trees
Macduff's
and
army is just like
C-sections.
dressed as trees. That's so good.
It's pretty
That's
good.
like some shit I would do. I would rate that.
Yeah, because it's like,
It's dumb.
and it takes itself so seriously that it ends up being funny. Yeah. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's amusing. Amusing. So, Kellan, before we get into Mewtwo Returns, real short bit this week because we want to get right into the mayhem. And we will be doing Mewtwo Returns in 3 parts. It's a 60-minute special. So that roughly translates to 3 of our typical episodes we review. So we'll do 3 of 4 pours, 3 literary hours, and bang the whole thing out. So,
all right, that's good because I forgot to talk to you about that, and I put 3 spaces in the spreadsheet.
We just are in sync
Works
sometimes.
out.
I mean, we've got firm conventions, patterns in time and space that repeat unto themselves, and we can just stare at those patterns and they stare back, and that is called being in sync, folks.
Every 20 minutes, time stops until I shove my hand in the pitcher.
Oh, great cosmic pitcher. We are now, if you and I were ever to start a cult, it would be around that damn pitcher.
It would be. Yeah, absolutely. That's not even a question.
It's like the pitcher needs to guide decisions in your daily life. Should I quit my job? We shall consult the pitcher. It says swamp ash. Take unto that what you will.
Interesting.
Okay, so
I would love. I know the great idea.
What?
Okay, a bobblehead, a merch idea, bobblehead of the 4-pour, where instead of bobbling the head, you bobble the whole pitcher, and the little balls inside rattle around. Great idea.
Oh yeah, it could be kind of like a magic 8-ball kind of thing, where then like something
or that
you
too,
see, like you see one of them on top or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat. We'll never make merch, but that's cool. Well, never say never. You never know.
Never. Yeah. Share with your friends and family if you want merch.
So,
and we'll think
quick
about
bit, Kellan.
Anyway,
the only thing, and it's a list of 5, but it's kind of really a discussion with you. And, Mewtwo Strikes Back, and then Mewtwo Returns. So Kellan, what are your favorite sequel naming conventions?
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk to you about. I got a list of 5, right? So my 5th favorite one is X Returns, which is like Mewtwo Returns, and I'm including Return of the Blank in here. So Return of the King, Return of the Jedi. It's a solid sequel name.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's a good one. And I'm following that up with The X Strikes Back. And really that's The Empire Strikes Back, but that is a great sequel name because it's fuck you, we're hitting you back.
We're coming back, we're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna do it hard.
It's kind of hype.
Yeah. For
my 3rd one, I've got, which is really only one movie, but I'm still gonna act like it's a trope. 2X2X. What could the X's be? We'll never know. But I think that's hype.
That was actually the working title for this one. 2 Mewtwo 2.
2 Mewtwo 2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
2 Harry 2 Potter. All right, another one I love, and I know that you love this, Kellan, is X2 Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
I mean, classic trope, classic joke.
I like X3 Aquatic Chickadee. That's also a good one.
I've never heard that. What would X4 be?
I don't know.
X4 Shut the Door. And my beyond favorite, best sequel naming convention is when they just add the to the start. So it's like, the Mewtwo. It's been so long. Now we bring you the Mewtwo. It's like obviously nostalgia bait.
I like when they add a syllable to the end. Die Harder.
I mean, Die Hard had some good ones too. It's like Die Hard 2, Die Harder, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Good Day
to Die Hard. Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah,
those are pretty funny. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one though. Watch the others. Isn't
it's
actually the second
one the only one? The first one's like the only like necessary watch, I would say, like really classic. The second one is kind of more of the same. It's decent. It's a little weird. The third one is actually really fun though. If you just want a fun, wacky movie where Samuel L. Jackson is going super hard, watch number 3. Number 4, I actually think is still pretty good because he fights like a jet plane somehow, and he drives a motorcycle into a helicopter, And so I thought that one was pretty fun.
It's pretty
and then
sick
5
sounding.
is really bad. 5 was
Wow.
phoned in. But
That's
anyways,
unfortunate.
that's my quick review of the Die Hard franchise. Now, back to you, Kellan, with Mewtwo
Perfect.
Returns.
Yeah, the first movie's good. I like it. That's
It's
my
a
review of
classic
the
Christmas
franchise.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. It's cool. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you've seen that. And you don't, none of the others are necessary. Like, they're fine,
Yeah.
but you're okay. That first
Yeah.
one's kind of where it's at.
So, do we just jump into the thing?
We jump in to the liquid that Mewtwo is waking up from.
Okay, so I just want to say off the top here, Mewtwo Returns kicks ass. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm feeling that.
It's so good. It's so hype. I love it.
It's pretty hype. It is pretty hype.
It's philosophical as hell. Oh my goodness.
It takes a bit to heat up, and some of the themes didn't. No, the themes are strong. You're right. Some of the plot points didn't quite hit for me. Like, we'll see later. I thought things like Twisted and Resolve themselves awfully quick. I think that for a sequel to Mewtwo Strikes Back, I think it's just kind of a shame that it was like a short sort of special. I think you could have like fleshed this thing out into more of a movie, and it would have been a little bit, would have hit a little bit harder. So from that point, I mean, it's kind of just okay. But I do agree with you that the parts that are fun are pretty fun. And there is some really hype, cool stuff.
It really is. So we open up this movie with a nice backstory in case you missed the first movie. So we get to just like skip a couple minutes here at the start. That's cool.
Yeah, Mewtwo's waking up. He's in the fluid. He gives a whole backstory from the first movie. Flashbacks to how he broke up from the lab, how he destroyed Team Rocket, like Giovanni's lab. Okay, that's all important stuff to remember. He's flashing back to then how he went to this island and had a bunch of clones, and then he saw Mew, and there was the great clone battle, but Ash opened his eyes and heart. And we also see that Giovanni's desire is still burning for Mewtwo. He can't get him out of his head.
Yeah, my favorite part of this flashback backstory exposition was Mewtwo, like, in his very epic, serious voice. He's talking about, like, I was created by these people, I destroyed them, but soon I encountered my nemesis. And then it just cuts to Mew, 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 Mew.
Yeah,
Mew,
that was pretty
Mew.
funny. And then I saw
ultimate
that
evil.
motherfucker. Mew.
Mew, 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 mew. So that's pretty good. I liked that a lot. But yeah, we learned that the only person that Mewtwo knows of that is alive, that knows about him, is Giovanni. Because he wiped the memory of all the trainers that were on New Island at the end of the movie.
That's right.
So that's going to be an important bit later. But Giovanni, we go to him, and we see that they seem to have found what they assumed to be Mewtwo on what was thought to be an uninhabitable island. Uninhabitable.
Yeah, with those classic Team Rocket satellites. They are totally about surveillance.
And then we see Mewtwo on this island. It's either sunset or sunrise. I
wrote it down as
really
sunset, but in this special, there are a few times when the light is not the middle of the day, but I can't quite pin down what time of day it is.
We really just need like a clock in the corner of the screen at all times just to tell us what time of day it is. Do we know it's a sunset? It's important for us.
Mewtwo exists in a pocket dimension where it is either sunset all of the time or never sunset. And these two realities exist in perfect harmony with each other.
They do.
Now, how will the 4-4 handle that, though, Kellan, if we get Sunset Boulevard? That's a big question.
Yeah, it's already kind of shaking a little bit.
Oh.
I think if I pull that ball, it's just going to blow up. It's going to implode on itself. It's going to create a black hole. It's not a good. This is a bad idea.
Okay.
Let's probably stop this.
In the original Star Trek series, I'm sorry for bringing up Star Trek lately, but like we have watched a bunch, and we've finished the whole series from the 60s. There are so many episodes where they encounter like a computer that's like running a planet or like automating a planet, and they always end up defeating it by like giving the computer a paradox, and then the computer's like 1, but also 0, but also 1. I cannot handle this. Goodbye. And then it like dies. And then there's like a few episodes that follow that same convention. And it's like,
didn't they have just
so
like
good.
thrown a fridge magnet at it?
I mean, pretty much, right?
I feel like that would have done the job pretty quickly. At either sunset or sunrise on this island, Mewtwo and his clone Pokemon, they're just admiring the beauty of the world. we get this a lot. His philosophy about being a clone is very depressing.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, we're clones. We don't belong here. So we outcasted ourselves and we don't belong and no one likes us. So we're alone and sad. And it's like, okay, but Mewtwo, you just like kind of decided that. You're the only clones we know of. So you can kind of set the precedent here.
Yeah, it's interesting that, okay, so Ash apparently turned his heart in the last one and showed him that there is hope with humanity, but yet he's clearly still very pessimistic about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
About basically them being able to live in harmony. And he thinks they can live in a sort of harmony that isn't really harmony because he needs to hide his true self. He's got that line, if we don't live in secret, we shall never live in peace. So he's got the clones with him. They're going to live as outsiders, stay here far away from the rest of the world. And you're right, it's a very lonely philosophy, and it's based more in pain than anything, and maybe even fear, right? Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, those kind of things that will often drive someone to making the wrong decision.
Yeah, it's very deep. He's creating his own pain, really, because he doesn't want to put himself out there. It's okay, Mewtwo. Just like you just go down to the coffee shop, meet a couple people, make some friends.
He just needs
you'll
hug.
realize. Yeah.
He just needs a Facebook meetup group.
Someone poke the guy on Facebook. Is that still a thing? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Man, Mewtwo would clean up at the local chess club.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit Season 2 is going to be really interesting.
It's just about Mewtwo.
Just Mewtwo.
We saw how a woman can dominate the world of chess. Now we'll see how a Pokemon clone can.
Spoiler alert, it's a lot better.
It's really quick.
He's literally psychic, so
yeah.
He does it in 2 moves. It's kind of boring, honestly. So then we get like the title credits, and I just noted that I liked the little music theme going on with the quick drum beat. I just thought that was very fun. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
But the gang, they're continuing along on the road. That must be, oh my god, it's Purity Canyon.
Oh,
wow. It must be Purity Canyon. Okay.
Must
a place
be.
I've definitely heard of.
This isn't a thing yet, right? It's not a game thing. Okay. This is a great wonder of the world, apparently.
Yeah. But apparently the only way to get across this canyon is by the bus that comes once a month.
Yes, what a terrible transit system. You thought the transit system where you live sucks?
Jesus
Check
Christ.
out the bus system in Purity Canyon. My gosh.
Yeah, like our buses might be like off schedule all the time, but at least they're daily,
Yeah, at least they're Canadian bus systems, at least they're daily.
So in the original, this was that the bus schedule was once a week, not once a month. And it's like, that makes me just wonder, like, why did they choose to change those tiny things? Like, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But it leaves at lunchtime today, and Brock's like, oh, well, it's a real shame we're gonna have to miss that, because I've already got lunch plans for us. So
he's making spicy pizza pancakes for lunch.
That doesn't sound good.
Sounds terrible, Kellan. You can say it.
It sounds pretty bad.
They do this thing sometimes where they're telling us that Ash's tastes are like, put a bunch of American food in a blender. And that's what he likes.
Well, I think
Pizza, hot dog, burger, pancakes.
I think it's just looking at the kids that are watching it, because kids don't know shit about food. And so you just put things that kids like together, and they'll be like, oh my god, pizza pancakes? Ooh. That sounds like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, true.
I like pizza. I like pancakes. Smack them together. It's going to be a great time. It's not going to be a good time at all.
No. Maybe you could make a pizza on a potato pancake. That could be okay. You're not into it. It's fine.
It could be, maybe. I don't know.
It doesn't sound good. But
you can try that and report back to us.
Nah, I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay.
So they see the bus. Well, you got to go catch it. Let's run along. And then rain starts. A storm starting to pick up. And oh, baby.
Yes.
Here we go. This is the line. We've been waiting for it this whole time. They're running through the rain. And then Ash says, oh no, it's raining. What a line.
Oh, that's the line?
That's the line we've all been waiting for.
I thought it was this next line.
Oh, yeah, then there's that. Okay, this one's pretty okay, too. This is a decent line. We can point it out just, for fun. Brock goes, I know, I'll use my trusty frying pan. as a drying pan.
Now, Kellan, is that not a repeat joke?
No, this is the first time it's
okay,
popped up.
okay. For some reason, I was like, I swear I've heard Brock say that before.
Well, it's like a meme.
Oh, maybe
line.
I've heard you say it before.
Probably.
That's where I was like, Brock stole that joke from Kellan.
Now it's a line, like when people talk about Brock in the anime, people go to that line, or like humor in the anime. It's a real iconic joke.
It's a real
in
butt
the
tickler.
Pokemon. Yeah, in the Pokemon community.
Oh, that's what I've heard it before. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think they just repeated a joke, but no, okay, I get it now.
Nah, you've heard it in pop culture.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like, I've got a friend, and I always heard him singing this one Drake song all the time, but I never heard the actual Drake song. And then when I heard the actual Drake song, I was like, Drake stole this from my friend.
Then I heard the actual Drake song, and I thought, oh god, this is not great.
I mean, how are there not bigger problems for Drake right now?
Right?
Those were some serious accusations flung at him. Anyways.
I don't understand. So, then we go to Team Rocket, who are spying in from under their umbrella that James is so glad he packed.
Mm-hmm.
But Meowth is concerned about typhoons, because he's looking at his guidebook. And for some reason, they have a guidebook, but it's Team Rocket branded, but it seems to just be like a normal guidebook.
Yeah, okay, maybe like Team Rocket like rebrands stuff.
It's like slap a big R on it.
They like steal
sticker.
IP.
But he's concerned about the typhoons. But Jesse's like, it's whatever. Those guys sensationalize everything. And then a typhoon shows up, and they go blasting off again.
This area apparently has really dangerous weather patterns. And as they're flying away, Meow says, the answer, my friends, is blowing in the wind. Bob Dylan reference. Cool.
So we're at the bus. We see it. It's full. The weather's getting bad, so they better get going.
I wrote down...
It's not quite time.
Kellan, bear with me. I wrote down, man, that bus driver is hot.
So,
maybe it's also because you don't, like, stereotypically expect bus drivers to be super attractive, right?
Yeah, it's a real...
I kind of feel bad saying that. It's like a bus driver can be hot. Why not?
It's like the sexy librarian thing.
Sure, I guess. I mean, I've never heard anybody say that, though. Like the trope
about bus
of
drivers?
The hot bus driver. Fuck yeah.
So, yeah, the bus is full, and they're like, I know it's not time yet, but it's full, the weather's getting bad, just go. Which I think, irresponsible. You should wait until the scheduled time, otherwise you're going to screw people over, like the gang who shows up. Just a little
gang runs up, trips, falls as the bus has left already.
You know, the ironic thing here is that, like, they speed up when Brock trips and falls over them. If they would have tripped and fallen, like, 30 seconds earlier, they would have cleanly made that bus.
True. I mean, they were really close, but you know what? I think this just gives everybody flashbacks. Like, anyone who's taken public transit, I think has had that time when, like, they got there, but the bus has just left. Like, maybe they're even on time, but the bus was like 30 seconds ahead, and you just sit there watching the bus leave. Like, that is the worst feeling.
I think anyone who's taken public transit just has bad flashbacks to public transit.
Hey, one time on the bus, I have so many bus stories, Kellan. One time on the bus, there was this like pretty like tough looking guy, okay, behind me, leather jacket, and he was speaking loudly on the phone, right? And things were getting heated, and he was talking about having to sell stuff, right? He kept, okay, we got to sell this. Okay, gotta get that. I'm thinking he's a drug dealer, I'll be honest, right? Because that's what it sounds like. And then finally he reveals what it is he's trying to sell. It was Batman memorabilia.
Nice.
And I was like, whoa, this is wild.
And Graham learned an important lesson that day about judging books by their cover.
That thugs can sell Batman memorabilia. I mean, hell, maybe it was black market Batman memorabilia. I don't know.
Or maybe he stole it from some fucking nerd.
Yeah, nerd. Along with his lunch money.
So the bus is gone. Right. It's gone. They missed it. And then there's this woman at the bus stop. It's like, you guys just missed the bus. But Brock's like, oh, but hey, there's plenty of room underneath my drying pan if we get close enough.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah. This woman is Luna, we will learn.
Green hair, pink raincoat.
And they don't name her in the dub, at least. But the bus driver is Luna's sister, Luca.
Oh, I don't think they ever revealed that they were related
No,
in the
they
dub,
did not.
did
Not in the dub. I believe in the original they did. There is like some line
they? Oh, there you
referencing
go.
that. But she is also named in the novel adaptation of Mewtwo Returns.
That sounds fun. That is
Yeah.
the kind of thing I would have read as a kid. I
Oh,
sometimes checked out those like weird novelizations of movies.
I should get a hold of one of these and then do like a bed. We should do like a bedtime story.
Read it
Reading.
out, yeah.
Mewtwo Returns. Yeah.
I don't know if
Get
that's
I'll get a comfy
violating some
chair.
copyright, but that does sound fun.
Not if we transform it.
Oh, right. Like turn it
Yeah.
into a
So-
rap. That's our first cipher, the TKAD cipher.
We're dropping an album, bitches.
And it's just Mewtwo Returns.
Returns as a rap. Anyway, yeah, so this is Luna. She invites them inside to the lodge, so there's no chance of catching that bus.
Mhm.
Apparently, people will stay in this lodge until the next bus for, I guess, up to a month, because they got no other responsibilities
Yeah, crazy.
while they wait for this stupid freaking bus. But we see the bus then is literally just picked up by the wind.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's flying everywhere. And then we go to Mewtwo, and it looks like, oh, Mewtwo is controlling the weather. He's controlling this bus. Oh, wait a second. No. Mewtwo saves the bus. He sets it down, uses his powers to save the people. Interesting.
He's trying to be nice, but from a distance, you know?
Mm-hmm. But, his clone Pikachu 2, asks, why did you save them? And Mewtwo is like, oh, an accident would bring visitors to the island. We must remain undisturbed. And Meowth's like, nah, bitch, you got empathy.
Bullshit, you got feelings, Mewtwo. Mewtwo's like, I don't care about humans, only our own silent misery. Only our own
Mewtwo and the
secrecy.
humans sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-S-S-S-S-I-N-G. So, yeah, he claims he can never have compassion for humans,
Mhm.
which, sure thing. Then we see Team Rocket. They're bent over their umbrella on a cliff. That's pretty quick. They're just like,
Yeah,
we got
just a quick
fucked up.
shot. And then, so in this
Back at the
lodge,
lodge.
yeah, learn about this, that they wait there for a month for the bus. That's crazy. Luna is suggesting maybe they take a boat. And Misty's like, I fucking love water. Boats are my jam. Luna's like, you're in the right place then, homie. Let's all
Hell
catch a
yeah.
boat. Yeah.
Let's drink some water.
Fuck yeah. So that's daytime, and things have cleared up, and Luna's using a bucket to pull water out there, and this is the most devastatingly delicious drink that Brock has ever encountered.
Yeah, and then Misty drinks it, and she also freaks out, like full anime eyes. And Ash is like, guys, what the hell are you doing? It's water.
Yeah.
And they're like, just taste it. Drink it, you'll see. And he drinks it, and he's like, oh, it's water. It tastes like something swimming in it, honestly.
But Pikachu and Togepi also get all wild.
Oh, they love
by
it.
So Ash is actually the odd one out. Everybody else thinks this water's amazing. And Misty hits us with the Colgate ad. 4 out of 5 water drinkers prefer Purity River water.
They do. It looked refreshing, honestly.
Mm.
So they're going to go down the river now.
Mhm.
So they're in a boat.
In a canoe.
And Misty's like, man, I love this water. It's so clear and everything. And Brock just has to be like, you shouldn't be so happy about that. Bug Pokemon, love that shit.
Misty thinks she's going to be
Misty's like,
fine,
fine.
though. She's like, you
Yeah.
know what? I like water more than I hate bugs. I'll tough it out. And that's when Ash spots a Christmas tree.
Yeah, there's a
However,
Christmas tree in the middle of nowhere.
it's not a Christmas tree. It's a flock of Ledian all glowing on this thing.
Yeah, we've seen Ledian and the glowing backs before. And it's nice. It's cute. I like that.
Mhm.
I do kind of wish it was just a Christmas tree. That would have been funny. But, oh well.
Plugged in and everything.
Yeah. Oh, this Christmas tree. If we turn right at this fork, we can go to Uncle Jim's Christmas shack, the year-round open Christmas store.
In
One of
this
those random
totally
Christmas
remote
stores.
canyon
Yeah.
that there's only one way across every month, there happens to be a Christmas novelty shop.
Yeah.
And it's not a pop-up. It's even open in June.
Yeah, it's one of those 12 months of the year. It's always around. Very weird, just randomly there.
That sounds bizarre.
Yeah, but in order to get there, you have to pass through the mob of Kakuna and Beedrill that are.
And these
in
are
this
the
forest
things
as
that
well.
end up testing Misty's limits. She freaks out.
Yeah, and paddles them back to the lodge. So they made no progress.
Backwards paddling. Very impressive,
Ah,
Misty.
damn. Yeah. Brock has an idea though. He knows one other way across the valley. Let's just go straight up the cliff.
Let's go up. Right over the
Yep.
top of Mount Cana, I believe they're calling it.
Yep.
highest mountain in Johto. Never heard of it, though. Humans cannot live up there. And he doesn't say why.
It's too high and there's like bad weather.
Well, you think
Pokemon.
but you could get up there if you go slowly, right? Or is it like one of
Apparently.
those cases you'll get some kind of altitude poisoning?
I don't know. I don't know anything about mountains.
We're from the flat parts.
Yeah. What's a mountain? I've never seen that. I don't.
You've seen a mountain.
You don't know
On a
that.
Kokanee can. Right,
I don't
Kellan?
drink beer.
Yeah, but you've seen
So
one.
no, I haven't.
From all the
Never
drunk
seen it.
assholes around.
Well, only Pokemon that thrive in the harsh conditions can live up there, apparently.
Like this
And then-
flock of Butterfree they go by.
And this music swells, and it's so like fairy tale like
That's
as
true.
the Butterfree like sprinkle their Butterfree dust across the sky, whatever it was.
Butterfree dust.
Their pheromones or something. I don't know.
They're
Pissing
butter
everywhere.
dust.
Yeah.
This butter dust don't cost a dime.
It's butter flavored popcorn seasoning.
You can't
What it is.
believe this isn't butter free.
So Mewtwo though, he's down
watching.
for this.
Yeah.
He likes it. They belong here. The Butterfree belong here. We weren't born here. We don't belong. Where do we belong? And Pikachu's like, we deserve to be here just as much as they do.
Mhm.
Meowth just likes the moon. Meowth too. But the Mewtwo like asked him about it, and we realized, no, Meowth too has a point. We see the moon in the exact same way those Butterfree see the moon. So why don't we see the Earth the same way?
Yeah, and everybody loves just getting contemplative when they see the moon in this movie. And it's kind of funny because in Mewtwo Strikes Back, like there was that whole thing where like the Meowths look at the moon and bond.
Yeah.
And now like this is just one big throwback to that. Where
Yeah.
they were like, what's philosophical? The moon. The moon's gonna get everybody going.
I like this because it's like Meowth is taking some lessons from Meowth in their initial meeting.
That's
And
true.
he's like, look at the moon. I learned this from an old friend,
They go
we see the
hard
moon the same
into
way.
it, though. It's
Yeah.
like moons all the way down. But no, you're right. You're right. That is like a through line.
It's just because Mewtwo doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
He likes being remote. He doesn't want to admit that the perspective he has created for himself is all wrong.
That's true. No, yeah. He is shielding himself in this lie, and that lie is the poison that he's drinking,
Yeah.
It's kind of like jealousy, right? This is kind of the same thing. It's like, or like when you're really angry at someone, you won't forgive them. Like, you kind of end up drinking your own poison.
Yeah. So then we go back to the lodge. Knock, knock. Someone says, "Good morning." They answer the door, and there's this insufferable woman who's like, "I said good morning because even though it's night, because if I said good night, you'd go to bed."
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? That's so annoying.
Oy vey.
Yeah.
I hated that. So
The man is Cullen Kalex. He's Professor Kalex. And he knows this Luna. He knows Luna Carson. He's read her papers. Wow.
Oh,
So
my
she's a
goodness.
researcher, we learn. But the girl's horrible. Yeah, and her name's Domino. She's from the Institute. She's got like a Valley Girl accent. And she's
I'm
just
like a
laying
totally
it on
off the
thick.
hook fan of yours.
Yeah.
I want to be exactly like you when I get old. And then there's just like a silent beat, and Luna goes, "Great."
Well, Brock doesn't care about personality because he's like, what a beautiful name. So black and white, yet so playful. Which was kind of
Because her
funny.
name is
Because her
Domino.
name's Domino, yeah. Let's find a quiet place to live up and see if we're a match.
Line up and find out if we're a match. And then, yeah, so black and white, yet so playful.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, those are the good lines. But apparently she's from the Pokemon Institute. They didn't come here for the bus, though, apparently. They came here for the water. Professor Cullen Calyx, professor of medicine, has found that this water here has many minerals that have healing properties.
Healing minerals, cool.
And Luna's like, okay, that's cool, but then people would come here, and we don't want that.
Yeah, this is going to be
So,
remote. It's a remote
Fuck them
place.
sick kids,
Yeah, I don't care if this thing cures cancer. It's pretty.
But they think, Mount Cana is hard to get to. And then suddenly, a big stick bomb. Kaboom.
Yeah, firecrackers.
And we look over, and Jesse and James are just there.
And Meowth is like floating and making
Yeah.
noises during this chant, which was pretty
It's
good.
great. Hard, but we're prepared for trouble. We'll scale that mountain on the double. And that's blah, 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 blah. And then we see Domino, who's like, I don't remember these clowns. And that's our first hint. That
Ooh.
Domino might not be who she says she is.
Ooh. Is there even an institute?
Are Pokemon a thing? I don't know.
I don't know. So Team Rocket here, they just want Pikachu, good old basics. They have this electric absorbing wire that they shoot out, grab Pikachu, plant things right down to the wire, Meowth says, and the balloon behind them has some upgrades here. The Team Rocket balloon now has rockets. We always had the team, they said, now we've got the rockets.
Yeah, and then Cullen is like, guys, you're going to die if you launch those things.
Yeah,
the weather is so unpredictable, you're going to get messed up. And they're like, sure thing, yeah. And Jesse's like, but a guy who cares for my well-being? He must be in love with me. Yeah, I love you.
This is where we learn that this professor is supposed to be, like, really attractive.
A total fucking babe, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he's John Stamos, circa appearances on... What hospital show was he on? ER or something?
ER?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he make an appearance on that?
Tony Gates.
That's who he played?
Dr. Anthony Gates, yeah.
Classic.
And then Full House before that.
Well, that was before that. It was Clooney who was on ER, like, first.
Mm-hmm.
Stamos later, I think. Anyways.
Yeah.
That's not interesting.
More important information.
Yeah.
For the podcast. But yeah, this guy's a hottie.
Mm-hmm. So they rocket away anyways, though. Yeah.
Because they're Team Rocket.
Jesse's still swooning, but okay. And the weather starts shifting, throws around the balloon.
But they've still got Pikachu. So Ash is like, ugh, okay, we gotta follow, of course. Mm-hmm. And so this has made Luna realize turn and say, okay, well, let's scale this bastard. Let's just go. We'll climb up this thing.
Yeah, and she's got climbing gear. She's like, well, we'll just fucking climb it. I'm tough as shit.
Yeah.
Domino's scared. She's jumping over boulders, though. Like, this is another clue, I guess, that something's up.
Yeah, she does that, like, cliche anime girl thing of, like, this is scary.
Right, but then she's actually doing, like, flips and stuff.
Yeah. What an innocent young woman.
Mewtwo is on his island still is watching the storm. Okay, quick cut. And this is where Kellan, I carved off part for the first third.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we've got some players in peace. The gang's going up the mountain. Team Rocket's crash. Mewtwo is on his little island. There you go. Part 1's literary hour is all about exiles. Okay, so this is about people who have put themselves voluntarily into exile in Icelandic sagas. Okay, there's actually a cliche in there called, let's see if I can say this, skogarmen, which are like people who have just like live out of society, like whether voluntarily, people who like live in the woods and aren't really connected, so self-imposed exile. And then there's also an important one from the Silmarillion. Yes, Kellan, it's Lord of the Rings related, but Silmarillion is the underlying text that gives us the lore. There are a certain sect of the elves called the Noldor, and they're involved in something called the kinslaying. So there is actually a violence amongst the elves, and they're cast out of Valar, and that's why they end up on Middle Earth. And that is why we see some of the notable Noldor, Kellan, quiz for you, are Celeborn and Galadriel. That's right, you win 1,000 points.
Yay!
You get any of that?
No.
Okay. Well, so for the first third of this movie, let's pull the balls and rank them, Kellan.
Well, I had one for Exile. I'm far more familiar with Exile Island, which showed up in a few earlier seasons of Survivor.
Okay, keep going.
Yep.
What's that?
Well, it was a recurring twist where people would be a contestant would be exiled to Exile Island on their own for a day or so, and they would have to live alone on this island with very few scarcities. I mean, that's the definition of scarcity, but they would have to live alone for a day or two, but they would get like a clue to where the hidden immunity idol is, and then they could go find the hidden immunity idol, but they would be exiled and alone and away from all the strategy talk.
Interesting.
Very important.
So solitary confinement.
Essentially, on an island, yeah.
All right.
But they called it Exile
Island.
That's why it's important here.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's right.
All right, so it's the 4 the plastic ping pong pitcher objective rankings. We're going to pull 2 categories at random and rate the episode based on that. We'll be doing that 3 times during this anime recap. What do we got first, Kellan?
Today's first category will be the character of the day.
Would that be Luna?
That's Luna. That's your favorite bus driver. That's
I don't know if
Cullen
she counts.
and Domino.
So I think that... Okay, but we're only talking about the first third of the movie. So I think Luna's gotten the most, I guess.
Yeah.
Although we haven't really been able to see her, sort of what she's about or her personality yet too much.
But you think the bus driver's hot?
Oh, so we can talk about all of them?
I would assume so.
Okay, yeah, the bus driver's smoking, but like, I don't know. I only found out her name through the sub, so like, whatever.
Yeah, you weren't even that interested in her personality, huh? You didn't even know her name? You were just so...
You can think
obsessed
someone's
with her looks?
attractive
Wow.
without being interested in them.
So superficial. Wow. Incredible.
Well, no, not even pursuing. Like, is everybody you find attractive someone that you're like interested in? No, you can just be like, oh, they're attractive and move on with life. I said that about the professor too.
Is that how most people function? I don't know.
Well, whenever you see someone mildly attractive, you just turn into a fawning beast, Brock.
Yeah, you start picturing your life together. Is that not how everyone else functions in this world? I don't.
You send them letters.
Incredible.
You write them sonnets. Okay, so I mean, the problem is that the characters of the week are actually decent in this. Domino is annoying, but we'll see some more stuff with her that
She's
becomes
insufferable
interesting.
In this
The
first
professor
section.
is okay, but actually
He's hot. That's his personality.
he's hot.
Right?
And Luna's just like all about the island, man, all about the canyon, right?
Water and stuff. Yeah.
So, the designs are strong. You know what? I think
Luna,
what we're
yeah.
floating around is the designs are strong. I like Luna's design a lot too. Got the green hair, distinct, especially paired with the pink raincoat. Like it's a pretty good look. It's a pretty standout look.
Mm-hmm.
So with the professor, I like his clothing too, kind of cliche, but it sort of works. However, the personalities are pretty standard and kind of
Leaving
superficial.
something to be desired in this first 20 minutes.
So solid designs, but they're pretty thin otherwise.
The most standout personality in this first section is Domino, and she sucks.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be annoyed by her, I guess. So in a way it's working, but it's unpleasant.
Yeah. So it's good characters overall. I'm going to go with a 7.4.
Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit lower just because I'm struggling to get a lot of distinction from them, so I'm gonna go 6.
All right, so that's 6.7. Second category will be the jelly donut effect. Let's take a look at some edits from the dub. The first section. The monologue, Mewtwo's beginning monologue, is not in the original. Mount Cana is a remote area in Johto in the dub only.
Now, monthly instead of weekly, we've got that.
Yeah.
Oh, the meal was changed from pancakes with lots of syrup to spicy pizza pancakes. That's a little jelly donut-y. Now, pancakes with lots of syrup, though, not quite a Japanese food. So it's not pure jelly donut, but it's getting there.
In the original, Mewtwo's opening lines are more about like just who his Pokemon are and their origins. But in the dub, Mewtwo is depressing as hell. Like the Japanese version states that they chose to avoid the outside world, but the dub implies the clones were victims of discrimination, according to Bulbapedia. Luca is not identified as Luna's older sister in the dub.
Here's something here about, the getting really close under the drying pan.
Yes.
Originally about using it as a love umbrella, which is a term for an umbrella shared by lovers in Japan. That's kind of interesting. Okay, not bad. One
Domino's Valley Girl slang is dub only.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Ash says the water's okay in the original, but his mother's chocolate milk tastes better. Delia's chocolate milk. Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Sounds weird. These aren't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the flying in the wind, blowing in the wind comment is dub only.
And that's really kind of it.
Yeah. So,
in terms
Love
of anything
Umbrella is
interesting
one of the bigger ones. Then with the spicy pizza
pancakes.
Yeah. I mean, those aren't bad.
Blowing in the
I've been
wind reference.
starving for a good jelly donut for a while. They're not quite as blatant as, like, they're not changing something Japanese to something stupid, which is, like, what it's all about, but they are interesting. There's some fun dub changes here. So I'm gonna go 7.
Yeah, I like the idea that they took Mewtwo in the original, who was just like, "This is who I am. These are my friends. Then we live here." And they were like, "That's not depressing enough. Let's give him existential dread about where he came from and how he doesn't
Yeah.
fit in this world."
Why don't you
So I like.
reflect on an X-Men sort of theme, but make it really painful?
So I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
So I really like that change. So it's a 7.25 overall for Jelly Donut Effect, and we don't have a total yet. We're gonna have to wait until we finish the film to
All
get that
right.
total.
So
Let's jump
back into
into our
the episode, Team Rocket in the balloon. They are relying on the rockets to keep stable during the storm. The rockets
getting nowhere.
stop. They stop
Yep.
working. They're not getting anywhere.
And the gang is still climbing the cliff. The balloon's getting blown around, and they collide right into the rope that's holding the gang and everybody. Somehow it clips right onto the balloon, amazingly,
So
and carries them
all
along with them.
hanging. Up above the mountain, we see the island. The storm stops. This is just a quick shot. Mewtwo then confirms that the storm has stopped.
For now.
And then on the balloon, where everyone's hanging, this is where Domino confirms that Mewtwo's there. So she's above there. She has spotted Mewtwo, I guess, with some kind of thermo gadget, which then is conveying to Giovanni, seen by satellite. Okay. Mewtwo also sees the gang. There's a lot of people seeing each other, but also not. And Mewtwo, is this an accident?
Or more.
Ooh, is it fate? Is it fate?
Could be
Mewtwo?
fate.
Is he religious?
And Giovanni at his place is just so pumped up. He's like, I will see whose will is the hardest as he smashes his whiskey glass.
He's got that
his
classic bad guy glass of whiskey. And
Yeah.
he crushes it in his hand. And that's the kind of thing, Kellan, that sometimes they throw in shows to be like, oh yeah, I'm really tough. But isn't it just fucked up? Like if you were with someone and they smash
That
their
would
whiskey.
destroy your hand.
And there's like blood all over, and you'd be like, what the fuck, dude?
If I ever use that trope in like a short film or something, I'm definitely gonna play off of it where he crushes the glass and he's like, "Oh shit, my
And
hand!"
everyone reacts,
oh
and
fuck.
they need to get him to like a clinic, but it's like
Yeah.
too late. Then you go to the emergency room, and there's like a really long line, and like okay, they're like triaging Giovanni while all this shit is going down with Mewtwo later. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good. So yeah, he smashes this glass, just thinking about how rock hard his will is, and will Mewtwo's be even harder. And then we see him. He's in his helicopter. He's going in, and then Domino, back to them, sees the clones too. She begins the operation. Oh god,
Ooh.
009 begins the operation. Tells the Team Rocket combat unit to proceed in. There's many blimps
no.
or zeppelins in here. We don't know. We don't see the internal framework, so we don't know if they're blimps or zeppelins. I'm sorry.
Good
I can't
callback.
give you
Good
the
callback.
information. Thank you. Team Rocket, our Team Rocket, sees this, and Meowth's just like, well, where are all the Meowth balloons?
Oh.
Meowth, I'm sorry, but I don't think the Meowth balloon is a particularly good tactical vehicle.
No, not quite.
No.
Have you gotten to how she like jumps up into the balloon?
Yeah. So she's jumped up into the balloon at this point, and then the gang and Cullen have made their way up. They're like, who are you? And she's like, my identity is a secret. She goes on this whole thing about she has a
So
secret
long.
identity. Nobody knows who she is, but Team Rocket, they call me 009 or Domino, but my foes, they know me as the Black Tulip. It's like, he could have just told us that last piece.
It's like we're not really interested in all of this fluffy lore. It's
Like, I want to know. I don't need to know your legal name. I'm not looking for your social insurance number here. I
Yeah.
just need to know like what your motive is here. Do I need to
yeah,
like push
who do
you
you
off this
work
balloon
for?
or not?
What are you trying to do?
Exactly.
The professor's mad because he's like, you are from the Institute. They told me that your position was funded. And she's like, guess what? It's not. You don't have any grant money. No, she's been undercover in the Institute. Team Rocket has
Mhm.
sleeper agents everywhere. She pops the balloon with one of her tulips, her black tulips, because she's called the Black Tulip because she throws black tulips. You get it? And as
Sure,
she's
yeah.
flipping out of there, she activates a hang glider and starts zipping away. The gang drops into that lake, which is like inside the canyon. The whole like topography of this thing is a little bit confusing because you've got like the water outside, and then you've got like this canyon with a large mountain that's on top of a lake that has an island on it, which is where Mewtwo is.
Yeah, but before she like pops the balloon, Team Rocket, they're like, "Oh my god, you're one of us. We're so happy to see a friendly face." And she's like, "Nah, y'all are losers.
See ya.
Get fucked."
Now we've passed a little bit of time when they're crashing and stuff, and Team Rocket is hanging. The parts of the gang fell in a different place, basically. Pikachu's with them. Jessie and Meowth are discussing if they should start investing in alternate transportation than the balloon. But Meowth's like, nope, the Meowth balloon is where it's at.
But Pikachu's gotten loose, though. Team Rocket, they're like hanging from a branch or whatever. The Pikachu's on the ground, and he's sparking up. And they're like, why is it sparking? Meowth's like, maybe he just wants to play. And then Pikachu fries them. Yeah, they fall out. But wait, there's another Pikachu.
Oh my god, it's Pikachu and Pikachu.
Pikachu 2. Oh my god.
Pikachu.
And Meowth translates here. And he's like, the Pikachu saying, so we meet again. But nobody else remembers who this Pikachu is. So this is weird. Pikachu 2 is telling Pikachu to go away. You know, we want to live in peace. Clone Pokemon don't need humans. Meowth's like, what the fuck's a clone Pokemon?
Yeah, what is
Pikachu 2 is just letting it all slip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the jig is up here. And then Mewtwo appears. Fighting is senseless. And then the clone proceeds to attack Pikachu anyways. But Mewtwo stops him. Nothing to gain with fighting. You're the same.
Team Rocket are very confused. James thinks it's like the sequel to a movie he missed.
I mean, it is.
Very good.
It was a good fourth wall break. Yeah, very nice.
Mewtwo is wondering, will we ever find peace? Pikachu 2 just wants to defend their land. It's more than a battle, it says. It's war. Meowth gets a little scared by that.
Yeah, the clones are declaring war now because there's others there, I guess. Now, our Pikachu doesn't have a reason to fight. Meowth and his clone are bonding again over the moon.
Over the moon.
They see them. Sure is pretty. I love how in all of these, the Meowth and the clone are always just like hanging out, right? They're like, we're cats. Let's hang.
Yeah. And Mewtwo with a philosophical banger. The moon reflects the light of the sun. Pokemon born into this world may walk freely in that sun, but we were created. Reflections. We are shadows. Perhaps we should not live in sunlight, but in the shadows of moonlight. Oh.
You called it a banger, Chills. But it was also kind of convoluted to me. But like convoluted, but
that's
also
his whole
simple.
Perspective.
I know, I know. It's true. It is nice that he's going so hard into this idea of them needing to live in the world but not be known, that he's like any other piece of metaphor that he can chew off that's related to that, he will. So he's like, guess what else is an outsider? The moon. Us and the moon will be outsiders together.
I have only one friend in this world. It's the moon. It's the moon. And then the moon grows a face, and it's like, I love you too, Mewtwo.
Yeah.
Good night, moon. Good night, Mewtwo. So Pikachu 2 is very sad about all this. Pikachu 2 thinks, we shouldn't have to live in shadows. There's a whole bright world out there for us to explore. Flowers and mountains, we see all these, and pastures and waterfalls and oceans, and then a shot of the planet from like NASA. Pokemon NASA. Beautiful.
I mean, there are satellites in this special.
Yeah. And then Pikachu 2 just straight up checks Pikachu's privilege. Pikachu 2 is like, you were born here. You can live in this world however it is you want to. We weren't born here. We don't have that luxury. We're outcasted because Mewtwo says we're outcasted. He created this whole perspective.
Yeah, Pikachu is like the freedom fighter inside of Mewtwo's twisted reality here.
Yeah. But Jessie's able to empathize with this. She was an outcast when she was young. And so she gets it. No one likes to be outcasted like that. We all want to, be included and see the world. Incredible. Mewtwo's like, nah, we're going to live here in peace.
More like pieces. No, they'll be fine.
Because Giovanni says, I'll meet you at sunrise, old friend. Remember her?
Yeah, as the Team Rocket aircrafts approach. Now we cut to the gang. They are washed up on a beach And our, of course, missing Pikachu, where could he be? Luna says that they can build a canoe out of the trees, which is interesting.
There's a conveniently fallen log right over there.
So I'm like, okay, MacGyver. So Bulbasaur and Chikorita razor leaf up that log and just make a canoe. They don't even need to waterproof
If I
it.
had a nickel for every time Ash has used his Pokemon to create a vehicle, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
You have a dime, but it's weird that it's happened twice, yeah. The other one being that gym battle in the Orange Island where he makes a bobsled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Bulbasaur was a part of that one, too. Bulbasaur is a real crafty individual.
That's what he can do. Step right up to Bulbasaur's canoe and bobsled emporium.
Don't ask for luges. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, fuck off with that German bullshit.
Fuck luges. So they start rowing. We see some cloud cover. Oh no. Could the storm be coming back? We'll see. Mewtwo, though, he's talking, we need to get out of here. We need to move somewhere where we belong, away from humans. And I'm thinking, like, Mewtwo, you're really going to move right now with this housing market? That's a disaster.
Yeah, but I mean, if he goes to somewhere where no one lives, maybe he'll be able to afford that. I mean, he'll still be paying $2,000 a month rent, even on the
plus
outskirts.
Utilities. Yeah. Maybe he should just move to the moon. Maybe the moon doesn't have a
since you're in love with it, why don't you marry it?
So, Team Rocket, then, we see, they're tied up by Bulbasaur 2 and Venusaur 2.
Yeah,
and Pikachu gives a rousing speech to the troops. We will not be held back. We will fight for our right to party and explore. And then we're going to use Team Rocket in experiments. And we're going to kill them. And we're going to go wherever we want. And then they throw Jesse and James in prison.
Yeah.
But keep Meowth for translation purposes.
I mean, he's a very useful servant.
Yeah. All the Pokemon leave, including Pikachu. Meowth's got a whole plan. Once this all is done, I'm just going to grab Pikachu, and then we'll take him to the boss. And then maybe finally I'll get a uniform.
Oh, it's what he's always wanted, apparently, that we just learned right now.
I like the idea that Team Rocket grunts don't inherently have the right to a uniform when they join. They have to do their first few missions, like, just completely fucking naked.
Butt naked. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this could also just be saying that Meowth isn't being looked at as a human. He doesn't have the same rights. He can't even wear clothes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
sad.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, we get some sad, emotional music playing.
And the water clones, the clones of, like, the water Pokemon, and then Pikachu and Meowth they're leaving. Mewtwo starts pondering about, his responsibility, and, he wants to protect them, and he wants to keep them safe, but if they want to leave, do they have their choice? Autonomy. What's more important, their safety or their freedom?
In a way, Mewtwo kind of fulfills our detective trope. I know it's a lot more nuanced, but Pokemon doesn't always call out its themes as explicitly, but Mewtwo will just straight up state every little theme that he can. He's like,
he'll see anything and then go into a paragraph.
Now here's another conundrum: safety versus freedom, surveillance versus protection. What are the rights of the individual versus the rights of the whole?
The deleted scene we missed was Mewtwo in the kitchen making himself a grilled cheese, and he kind of burns it, like, pretty bad, and he goes into this whole philosophical conundrum about, like, the want of a good grilled cheese versus, wasting food, the want versus the waste. Can he ethically throw away this food when someone else, other people out there, they're hungry, they could use that food, but he has his standards just a little too high for his grilled cheese,
And that's the one they actually kept on the DVD. Now, word is
weird.
There's an underground scene that the footage got lost for that's all about Mewtwo's takes on abortion rights. Now, I want him to release that. Cowards.
So the gang have rode into the cave by this point, and there's a big staircase. They start climbing the staircase, crazy stuff. And then the skies clear out, so I guess there wasn't bad weather this time. It was kind of pointless, honestly. But they find the source for Purity River. They found Purity Lake, and Cullen just kind of freaks out about it.
Yeah, because he starts analyzing the water, too. He's like, these numbers are off the charts.
Luna is like, it's untouched. It's pure. It's not corrupted by capitalism. Oh my goodness. Water.
Such a hippie. Oh, Luna.
Then we see from the bushes some tiny little baby Rhyhorn and Nidoqueen come out. What the fuck?
I was gonna ask you about this, Kellan. That's like they're tiny versions, but those are of like end evolutions, or at least for the Nidoqueen it is.
For
right?
Nidoqueen, yeah. So yeah,
so
that's
they're
weird.
not Nidorans; they're just
No.
tiny Nidoqueens.
So
How
okay,
did
yeah.
this
So
get made? How did this part get made?
I do have an idea. I don't think that this is like a like some crazy error. I think this could possibly be something logical in this story. So yeah, this is something that people bring up a lot sometimes on one of my little TikToks of anime errors with Togepi egg. When Brock and Misty are like, "What's in the egg? Could it be like a golem or something?" And we're like, "You guys, those things can't hatch from eggs." There were people in the comments that are like, actually, there was a Nidoqueen baby in the Mewtwo Returns special. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I'll watch that when I get there. But under the context of this special, and later we do hear explicitly that this island is inhabited by Mewtwo's clone Pokemon,
Mm-hmm.
I think this makes perfect sense.
That
I
they're
think
clones?
the clone Nidoqueen has the DNA, the genetic makeup of a Nidoqueen, not of the rest of the Pokemon's line, just the Nidoqueen. So when it creates an offspring, it being a clone, and the offspring being essentially a clone of the clone, it's going to create itself, not the Nidoran.
Maybe. I mean...
And you know what else can help corroborate this? Okay? Now, seriously, we're in Generation 2 here. Breeding has already become a thing. You know what Pokemon cannot breed? Pokemon in the undiscovered egg group. That are no eggs discovered egg group. That includes legendaries, baby Pokemon, they can't breed, and weirdly, Nidoqueen and Nidorina.
Oh my god. There
Nidoqueen
we go.
cannot breed in the games. Nidoran female can breed, but as soon as it evolves,
this is
it is incapable of breeding.
specific phenomena.
This is clone specific.
That's kind of interesting, Kellan. You might be on to something.
That's what I think.
It's a weird... It is, so it makes sense given the evidence that there are these baby Nidoqueens, right? This is like a good explanation. But me as, like, imagine the people creating the Pokemon lore. I think it's a little weird for them to have gone down this path at all. But I guess they were thinking about the clones. And they were like, yeah, they're going to be baby Nidoqueens. What if one of them was like, I just really always wanted to draw a baby Nidoqueen. Just let me do it. Just let me do it, okay?
Please, I swear to God. Let me do this, I'll never bother you again.
Yeah.
But no, that's my theory. I think
it's not bad.
I think the evidence speaks for itself.
Okay.
It is weird, though, honestly, that Nidorina and Nidoqueen cannot breed.
I mean, that's suspicious, Kellan, and you might have just put the pieces here together that the cloning has unlocked some weird mutation, basically specific to this thing. So
I did actually learn recently that the idea of Nidorina and Nidoqueen not being able to breed was actually corroborated earlier than Gen 2. There was a piece of Japanese media called the Pocket Monsters Encyclopedia, an illustrated book of Pocket Monsters, where there was some like biological information about some of the Pokemon. And in there, it states stuff about Nidorina and Nidoqueen not being able to breed or procreate.
Interesting.
So it's something they took from this random lore book and they put into the games, which I think most people think that it is just some really random thing that Nidorina and Nidoqueen can't breed, but they actually
might be
take it from something. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these baby Nidoqueen and Rhyhorn.
That's to say, the baby Nidoqueen are pretty cute.
They're pretty cute. The parents are watching from above. They're all happy and healthy. And the scene is just to make us be like, oh, cute things live here. That's cool.
Make us think, we want these Pokemon to win. You know? Make us root for them.
So now we got to that faction of clones that had defected and want war. And that band of clones has now made it to the beach across the lake.
Where they are jump scared by a rocket plane.
Yeah.
And then big red bursts come out of it, pew-pewing, sort of paralyzes all the clone Pokemon, and then Team Rocket Pokeballs are falling from the sky, capturing all of them. But Pikachu...
The Pikachus are defending each other from these.
Pikachu saves Pikachu 2 from the ball by shocking it out of its stasis. And so, but the music in this part kicks ass. And then Meowth also saves Meowth 2 by scratching him in the face. He's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go that hard.
Yeah.
And they're running away from these big giant blasts. And somehow Team Rocket's aim is just terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the Pikachus and the Meowths are zigzagging. Like, they know
Barely.
Serpentine a little bit.
Yeah. But they get cornered. They're stuck against this cliff wall. And they're gonna get messed up by this thing when kaboom! Something intercepts the blast. And it's Mewtwo. He's here to save the day again.
Oh yeah!
And he uses his powers to release all the clones from the Team Rocket balls.
That's resolved fast.
And then Giovanni reveals himself, and Mewtwo warns him. He's like, "You remember me, but I've gotten stronger. I built a gym down there. I've been bench pressing." For 2 weeks straight.
I can bench press 2 plates now on either side. That's a lot.
Giovanni's like, no, we made new stuff to deal with you.
We have new technology. We don't even need to bench. We can take roids. And the roids come out in the form of these 2 robots, Reddy and Bluey, which surround Mewtwo and electrify him.
Boom, right out of the air.
Mewtwo falls.
But he gets up. And Giovanni's like, you can bend the wills of living beings, but you can't control machines. And then Mewtwo is like, bitch, watch this. And he controls the machines, kind of. Like, blows them away.
Yeah, and he activates
breaks
like
through
a
the
little force field. Yeah. Blows the robots away. Giovanni's like, technology has limits, I guess, but life does too. And then he pulls a Dragon Ball Z. He's like, we can fight right here. Let's fight on that island. We could fight right here, but let's go over there. I don't know why.
To which Domino is like, okay, I'll fly over there and start doing phase 2. There's a plan. There's a trap. Oh,
and
goodness.
I'm glad that you mentioned phase 2, Kellan, because that is the end of part 2. We've hit the 40-minute mark. All right, so literary hour for the next 20-minute chunk. The trope is called Liberty Over Prosperity. It is that safety versus freedom debate that Mewtwo has. So we can go to Paradise Lost. I believe that's by John Milton. A long sort of flowing poem. And it has to do with Satan. Okay, Satan cast out of heaven. He would rather reign in hell than serve in heaven is the classic line. The demons were angels, right? And they've left heaven for the chance for freedom. So they could be in heaven in this utopia, in this protected state, but they have chose freedom. So actually, Pikachu and the clones that defect are much like the demons and Satan in Paradise Lost. Imagine that. And then in the Game of Thrones, the Song of Fire and Ice series, we've got the wildlings, who are the free folk beyond the wall, who often call other people who are more part of kingdoms, they call them kneelers, because they've chose to obey, to kneel, to bend the knee in order for that protection. But wildlings, they have their freedom. They live who they are, and they've got that freedom in the wild. So there you go. Just like the clones, Kellan.
Oh my goodness. So serious.
So serious.
So scary. Okay, let's rate before I piss my pants out of fear.
Yeah. Hey, what do we got first category?
First category for this section will be... Oh, it's not how the game works.
Well, this is kind of all you. I mean, the Nidoqueen one kind of doesn't work here, because you actually lined it up with the games well, no?
I'll still count it.
You still can count? Okay.
I'll still count. You can't get a baby Nidoqueen. That's just not a thing.
That's just not a thing, all right.
This location does not exist in the games.
Yeah, all this stupid bullshit. Healing water.
Healing water. Well, there's fresh water in the games.
Yeah, there is fresh water, yeah.
Yeah. in the from Gen 3 onward, the fresh water item is described as water with a high mineral content. So it could be this water.
That's actually suspicious. Never mind.
Interesting. Yeah, Tiny Nidoqueen, this place doesn't exist. Clones aren't a thing.
Does Mewtwo have a force field?
He can learn Protect. Everything can. Yeah. But, Yeah, it's just not a lot of... there aren't, these giant weird machines. Team Rocket Balls aren't a thing. That's not a Pokeball.
True.
That's anime exclusive.
These aren't bad.
So, yeah, there's that. Giovanni's not even in Gen 2. So,
okay.
There's that as well.
Yeah. And he doesn't own a helicopter plane thing.
That we know of.
These are okay. They're not super profound, and we don't have a whole lot of really like classic battling, which is where sometimes these things will pop up. So I'm gonna go with a 6. They're decent,
6.
but they're not they're not fully going.
Yeah, I'm out there. I think it's with the Baby Nidoqueen and the fake Pokeball. How dare you show? 6.8.
Okay,
So that's 6.4 for that.
now hit me with another category.
It's gonna be it's the repetition. What kind of repetitiveness is going on here? I mean, not much considering this is like a special and it's going
Yeah,
on
not much.
weird places.
I mean, you have repetitions within this. No, not really. Repetitions, period. Like we did talk about callbacks to the first one, which is a form of repetition. I would say this obsession on the moon is sort of a repetition. That would be kind of the main thing. There is a bit of some of the philosophy is repetitive in terms of contemplating life, but it has evolved. So I don't quite think it's repetitive because it's gone from like, what is life to life's fine if it's underground in the dark.
Yeah, there's not only are there like callbacks and stuff to the original movie, but also the soundtrack heavily reuses music from the first film as well.
Oh, yeah. That's true, actually. Good call out to
Y'all
the
count that.
repetitive music, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I think when you say the word repetition, it inherently is kind of talked about negatively, but I think these forms of repetition in terms of callbacks is actually a good thing and enhances the rating.
Yeah, they enhance. Yeah, you can use that to enhance the rating. I think.
Yeah.
I think whether callbacks are effective or not is totally in the eye of the beholder, right? Like we're in the age of nostalgia, and this looks weirder to me now. Just that there's been like a lot of movies that really try to prey on nostalgia. I don't think that is necessarily how Mewtwo Returns feels. I think it was just a quick sequel, not really preying on nostalgia, but more like trying to ride out a bit of the hype still. I still think it's surprising this wasn't like a movie, but so I think that's up for interpretation. But yeah, good call out that there can be positive aspects to it. It doesn't mean that it's bad, that it's repetitive.
Yeah. It's kind of repetitive that at every turn Mewtwo is like, a conundrum.
I mean,
Philosophical.
Your grilled
I'm
cheese
alone.
scenario was very apt.
Like, he does that a lot.
He's making burgers. Do I melt it or keep the cheese intact? Form over flavor, thus what it was originally intended to be, but the potential of what it can become.
If it's melted, is it even cheese anymore?
Is
the molecular structure the same?
But a hamburger, and is a hamburger not but a sandwich? Can we all live together, or shall we live apart?
How many ingredients go on a grilled cheese before it becomes a melt?
Oh, that whole debate.
I don't know.
You are so meme-coded. Everything you say is a meme.
That is a conversation.
I mean, that's a classic. That is a classic.
No, this is a massive conversation in my friend group at one point.
Really?
Like away from the meme of it. Where,
oh, really?
Yeah, like at one point, a couple of my friends were working at the school late, and one of them was ordering food. And, asked the other one, do you want anything? And the other friend said, no, I already had supper. I'm like, oh, what'd you have? And like, I had 2 grilled cheeses. And the one friend was like, that is not a meal. You did not have supper. You had a snack. And it was this whole thing about like, what constitutes a meal? Do you need a main and a side and a drink? Or is it just about a pure number of calories? And then that conversation shifted into, when does a grilled cheese become a melt? And things got fucking heated for months. It was incredible.
For months.
It was
amazing. Yeah, 2 grilled cheeses, that's probably like a solid 800 calories. So that's quite a lot, but I know what you mean. It doesn't. I sometimes think of a meal as having a protein, a starch, and a vegetable.
Exactly. Yeah.
But anyways, I don't want to get into there. What the heck are we giving this for repetition, Kellan?
I'm high on this one, honestly.
Oh,
We're pulling really well. Get fucking blazed, baby.
What is it?
I'm gonna go.
Reveal your hand.
I don't want to keep going in this exact same area of score, but I'm gonna go 7.
I know. I was gonna complain about that too, but I am being the repetitive one. I'm gonna go 6. It's just there's a lot of 6s. Like
It's a lot of this slightly above average.
Because that's what this show is slightly above average.
Oh, anyway. So, that's a 6.5 for repetition. And again, we will hold the total until the very, very end. So, let's get back
now,
into
I think this last section's going to go a little bit quicker because it's a lot of climax. So let's...
action.
And we've been running a little long, so let's bring me to the end, Kellan. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, they're going to go fight over on the island. And then we see the gang, they're all ringed up in these Team Rocket arresting rings around their body, these hoops.
Mm-hmm.
And Domino is being Domino, and she's being like, blah, 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 we got you. We can't let you leave until this operation is over. And then Ash just yells at her, you better!
Yeah, I was like, okay, sure. That's one retort. And then we cut Team Rocket, like Jesse and James are still in the jail. Meowth hasn't returned to them. And they're really wondering what they're going to do if Meowth doesn't return. Not because of their friend, but what are they going to do about the motto if Meowth doesn't return? And then they go, I guess we won't be blasting off again.
Oh, no. Oh, so sad. But Domino is starting to kind of just scoop up all the Pokemon with her ridiculous tulips.
Yeah, back at the lake, 009 is grabbing babies. She's shocking the parent Pokemon, taking babies.
She doesn't use Pokeballs. She thinks that's trivial.
No, she's like, that method sucks. We're going to use our hands and our bootstraps and our WD-40 and just pick these fuckers up.
We're just going to fucking shoot them in the face.
And then there's like a montage that's cutting around of her just shocking Pokemon maniacally, which is kind of twisted.
Jesus. Yeesh.
And we're cutting like mad during this part.
Yeah.
So we cut again. 009/Domino/the Black Tulip is mocking Jesse and James. They get mad. And then cut again, she's calling Giovanni. She's like, we got the clones. And
the whole island's populated by clones.
Goading
we got
Mewtwo.
Them all. Yeah, he's just like, are you just going to let your friends over there fight all alone? Or are you gonna stand up, you little baby? Huh? You little fucking wuss bitch. And Mewtwo's like, you're gonna call me names? Okay, fine. I'll fly right into your trap. And you're like, Mewtwo, no! So don't do it!
Well, Mewtwo is compelled to help now. Attacking his clones is just too far. Attack of the clones, okay. Attack the clones, bad. So Meowth is talking about stuff. So is Meowth gonna help? He's like, well, I don't have experience being unselfish, but I guess so. And the Pikachus agree to help too. Okay. Mewtwo is spouting some philosophy, and he's changing a little bit here, finally. He goes, we must live where and how we choose. Okay, this is growth.
Yes. You don't have to live.
And he psychic carries the clone vigilantes back to the island, where he confronts 009, says, release the babies.
Yeah, Giovanni pops up, and he's like, you'll obey me, blah, 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 I will be your owner. And Mewtwo's like, I'd rather die.
Giovanni's like, well, we'll experiment on your friends.
And Mewtwo's like, oh, fine.
Fine.
I submit. Blah, blah, blah. And so Giovanni brings up the machine. He's like, this won't destroy you. It'll just mold you to my purposes.
He's going to break his will to the point where I guess like his brain is so open that then Giovanni can like control him with like psychic technology or something, I think's the idea. So the drones now have like a black electricity that they're blasting him with. And 009 is now blasting the Pikachus. I think she's chucking flowers that explode or something.
Yeah, and then Mewtwo is like, fine, just stop. And I'll if you stop that, I'll go into the thing.
Yeah.
And so he's walking into the light, and all the clones are like, no, Mewtwo, don't do this. But Mewtwo submits, and he climbs into the control device or whatever. He's like, you may control my body, but you will never control my will. And Giovanni starts torturing him.
This kind of reminds me of when I was coming back from the UK with some friends when we were like a lot younger, and we had to fill out those forms, that back in, and one of them was about how much cheese are you bringing back into the country. My friend had some cheese, so he was getting worried, and I hear from the back of the plane, you can take my freedom, but you'll never take my cheese. Anyways.
Yeah, Giovanni's just torturing him. Eventually he'll break, and then we can use this beautiful island for our new lab. So this island now is being tainted by capitalism.
Oh, and this was quick as fuck.
My God.
This is exactly how a Walmart goes into a small town. It's like you're there one day just pumping gas. Boom! They knock over your gas station, put up a huge petro can. Things are flying.
You drive through it on your way to work and there's nothing there, and you drive home and you're like, when did a Walmart show up? Oh my God.
I guess I'll get a rotisserie chicken, but I'm a little mad.
God damn it, this is so convenient.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to build this new lab, and yeah, Giovanni's construction crew is impressive here.
Yeah.
He should just really start a construction company.
It's crazy how fast he's getting things going. And what he wants to do is he wants to break Mewtwo to the point he can control him, and then he'll run the lab. So he wants like basically a cycle of research coming out of this Mewtwo. He's got to publish like at least 5 in 5 top journals a year, right? And Mewtwo's like, that's a lot of stress. No.
And he passes out.
Yeah.
From the stress. Everyone's marching through the caves now. The gang find the Pikachu and Pikachu 2. And they still, what are the name? Kellan and Luna still have the vial of spring water. And so they give it to the Pikachu, and they both perk right up. Incredible, these healing properties. But then the Domino just throws them and all the clone Pokemon in jail.
Great.
Straight to jail.
And then we get these cuts of the lab is being built super fast.
Incredible.
Like Kellan said, that's crazy. Now, cut again, Giovanni's on the heliplane, destroying Mewtwo's body before his will breaks. Oh, he could actually kill him in this process. Cut again, 009/Domino/the Black Tulip is scolding Jesse and James as they mop the floor. So Jesse and James apparently are helping out by cleaning the place. Okay, we're getting another cut. This thing is cutting like crazy. We see that there is some output from this lab construction that's going into the lake. Some kind of tube. Perhaps it's dumping chemicals in there that it could be quite bad. Cut again. We have a whole flock of Ledians flying around, and Butterfree, and Beedrill. Ooh, the bugs are out.
Yeah, and the clones can sense.
Ooh, they're roaring.
There are bug Pokemon coming, and I think this was a nice touch here. You know, there's this whole talk about clone Pokemon, and the other Pokemon are different. But if the clone Pokemon can sense the natural Pokemon, maybe that's a hint that maybe we're all the same. You know?
True. Yeah, good one. Yeah. And Meowth translates: the bug Pokemon are angry. And all Pokemon are feeling it because it cuts to Persian. Giovanni's Persian. He's reacting too, and Giovanni's like, "Shut the fuck up!" And Persian's like, "Meow, meow, meow."
Yeah, he tells Persian to be quiet, and this is actually the first indicator in the series that Giovanni is actually a villain.
Because he shushes a cat.
Yeah.
That's quite twisted.
Smack talks his cat, so that's actually a bad guy.
I just thought he was a functioning businessman.
So the bugs swarm in, and they're spreading sleep powder all over the place.
Except this sleep powder causes explosions, Kellan. What is going on?
Well, they sleep powder, and it's to this nice horn music again that's coming back. It's like this kind of like this evil plan music, but there's that hint of like, if things go right, we might be able to come out on top here. That's what I get from it. But the sleep powder makes the grunts that are building it drop their blowtorches.
Oh,
that's what causes the explosions.
Okay, I thought these were little spores. I
just
don't know what was going on. Little bombs, yeah.
No, it blows shit up all over the place. The gang and the Pokemon get out of the jail. They're gonna go to find Mewtwo or whatever, and then Kellan and Luna are like, "Oh, but the spring! Oh God!" And they run. They go to the spring.
Yeah.
And so, faced against this swarm of bug Pokemon, Domino tries all of her tulips, throwing them at the Pokemon, and they get sliced up by Scyther, which another great touch because, tulips, plants, grass type, weak to bug.
Oh, and now we see it in action, a classic type matchup. She's a tulip. She's a grass-themed Pokemon. She gets fucked up by Scyther. And she also gets fucked up by Jesse and James, which is so good because she starts slipping on Jesse and James' freshly mopped floor, falls right into the pail, and Jesse and James get the last laugh about how she looked all right, but now her face is seeming a little pale. Oh. Got him.
So Kellan and Luna up at the lake, they find that the water is not contaminated.
It's fine. Hooray.
Yep. The gang and Meowth and Pikachu have found Mewtwo. Mewtwo is glad they're okay.
Yeah.
he's finally showing a little compassion, and they want to help him. And so he tells them, you gotta turn off these machines. And so they go looking for the off switch. Like, there's no button.
There's no button.
Where's the button? Let's try running into it. We have these magical creatures. Let's just try pushing it over.
Yeah, so they all start using tackle on the machines, but that doesn't really work. One of them budges a little, but it's no good.
But it reorients itself. So that tells them, we can move this thing all we want, but it's still gonna be doing.
So Mewtwo's gonna use his remaining power. He's screaming. He's gonna try to like overcharge the machine, I think.
That was a shot,
and
man.
he needs some help though. So the Pikachu start thunderbolting the machines along with it.
Yeah, they could have tried thunderbolting before Mewtwo was like, guess I'm gonna kill myself.
I'll die in glory. See ya.
But this shot of Mewtwo using up the rest of his power, oh my god.
Yeah, nice little animation.
It was incredible.
Earlier on in the
freaky.
special, I was thinking the animation wasn't that great, because like a lot of the sceneries and shots are pretty stiff. But the Mewtwo, they saved it for the Mewtwo stuff. The Mewtwo stuff's really good, and I think that was the right call.
So yeah, the machines break, but he's kind of destroyed himself. He's got no power
weak
left.
As fuck.
Pikachu is like, we got to get him to the spring. We get him to the water. And then Giovanni shows up. And he's like, I'll decide if he survives. Rah, 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 rah. And the gang's like, no, we're going to stop you with Goldeen and Pineco and Staryu, baby.
Yeah,
Geodude, get him.
Misty and Brock are going to stop him. Well, Ash is going to take Mewtwo out the back, basically get him to the lake. Jesse and James are spying away from a little cave. They see the boss, and they're like, if he sees us, he'll do something drastic, like ask for our expense reports. So scary.
That's good. I like it. They're going to hold off Giovanni. Ash is going to take Mewtwo, but Giovanni's just like, no! And then the water clones breach from behind.
Yeah, pretty sick.
And as Ash is taking Mewtwo, he's got Chikorita and Bulbasaur helping out. Mewtwo starts being philosophical again. He's like, why are you doing this? And Ash is like, dude, you don't need a reason to help somebody.
You're hurt, I'm going to help you.
Get with it. Oh my god,
Mewtwo's
you're
like,
an idiot.
You must be one of a kind. And Ash is like, this is actually a great reply. You're one of a kind too. Everybody is. Cool.
So they get to the spring, and Ash is like, we need the water for Mewtwo. And Colin's like, no, it'll contaminate the whole thing, possibly. And Ash is like, fuck that, I don't care. And just yeets Mewtwo into the lake.
Water. And this is where we get canonical evidence that the bottom of this lake is actually the shot we see at the beginning of Mewtwo Strikes Back. Maybe.
Perfect, amazing.
Because he's like, I've been here in my dreams. He sees Mew like scoot by, and he's like, is Mew down here? I think he's hallucinating. But then he has this realization, kind of like how everyone can look at the moon. If this water heals Pokemon from this world, but it also heals Mewtwo, doesn't that mean that I'm part of this world? And that's great, but like I thought that logic suddenly popping up here for the heel turn, or not the heel turn, for the face turn.
Heel turn, yeah.
For the face turn was kind of ridiculous because like he could use that logic for almost anything that they both do. If this grilled cheese tastes good to them and it also tastes good to me, then am I not of this world and can enjoy grilled cheese?
He could do it for oxygen too. They breathe this
they
air.
Breathe the same
oxygen.
Do we not all piss the same piss and cum the same cum?
No, Mewtwo, ours isn't red. Okay. So I also just want to note, Ash chucking Mewtwo into the lake, very impressive considering Mewtwo is noted as 269 pounds.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's actually not just impressive, that's like impossible.
It's incredible.
That's like that's like a deadlifting weight. Like what
Amazing.
the fuck?
But then Giovanni flies in on his whatever, and he's like, "This place belongs to me. I can destroy it if I want." And I'm like, Giovanni, where's the lease agreement here? I don't see your name anywhere on some papers.
It's just squatters' rights you're claiming. Because if so, Mewtwo has first pick.
By far, yeah. But then Mewtwo emerges, just pops out of the lake.
Just Dragon Ball Z style. He's got that like aura around
power.
him. Yeah.
He's like, no one owns this place. We don't even own this place. I have new life. I will use all of it to defend this place. And there's this giant beam of light.
Personal property is a crime, and here is my communist manifesto. Thank you, Comrade Mewtwo.
There's this giant beam of light, and then we just cut to later at night.
Yeah, that's it. He
The
just
lake is
summons
totally
the Primo
dry.
Light, and it's like,
Yep.
where's the lake?
Team Rocket and Kellan and Luna have been left behind in this dry lake, but Kellan still has the sample of the water. So maybe they can make a synthetic version of that. To which I want to say, like, he didn't want Mewtwo getting in the lake to potentially contaminate it. Didn't he just, like, dunk his hand in to get the sample?
It's just
Like,
a
isn't that the same
goofball
thing?
during this part. Like, I don't get his logic. Yeah.
Yeah. But then we see Mewtwo. He's moved the lake and the Pokemon beneath Mount Cana. They'll be protected
That's
here.
sick. So
Sweet.
that's what the Beam of Light was. It was an ultimate teleport attack. And
Mhm.
Ash is like, I can't wait to tell Oak. And Mewtwo's like, well, I'm
Have you
erasing
learned
your
nothing?
memory, so you're not going to do that.
Once you leave, you'll remember none of this. And then Meowth stands up for everybody. You know, we deserve to have curiosity. We deserve to know where we come from, what happened. Just
Yeah.
because, like, these babies' parents are clones doesn't mean that these babies aren't alive.
They all
They're
deserve
going
to
to want to
live.
know where they came from, you know?
Yeah.
And then James with a banger here. Just because something's forgotten doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Ooh,
Amazing.
good one, James. Mewtwo, this kind of's working. He agrees, and he's got a good sweet sentence here. If we are also able to look to the future, we should look to the past. The shame of the
Amazing.
past is not ours. It belongs to those who used our past to set us apart.
And so he's going to erase the memory of only those who tried to destroy them.
This is why you should study history, folks, that line.
You'll be doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, Team Rocket forgets everything. Domino and Giovanni are like, what the hell happened?
What are we
Domino
doing
thinks-
here?
Domino's like, I think are we on like a secret mission or something?
He's like, I feel
Kinda
like I've
feels
been
like it.
defeated. Must be a real secret if we don't even know what the mission is.
And then again, Mewtwo says, it's time to depart, even though he just moved everyone down from into the mountain. It was a long process. He had to hire like a few moving companies for all that water. It was a whole thing, and now he's just gonna leave.
Oh, moving water? Yeah, that sounds complicated.
But Meowth says, you know, if you're ever flying around and you see a big Meowth balloon, say hi. Come say hi.
He's like, will do.
And Mewtwo's grateful. He's like, I'll remember you all.
Yeah.
I'll remember you. And Ash is like, and we'll remember you. We'll both remember each other this time. Ash, you don't remember the first time.
Yeah, it's like, I was going to ask you that, like, when he says this time, like, he doesn't know there was another time, right?
No,
Yeah.
not that we're aware of.
Not that
Unless
we're aware
Mewtwo, unless Mewtwo during the moving process was like, actually, hey guys, I've seen you
Filled them
before.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a secret. By the way, there's a whole thing with another island. Look, yeah, it was an island. I know, I'm cliched. Sue me.
Sorry. But the gang, oh my god, this is great. The gang has a Pikachu balloon to match Team Rocket's Meowth balloon.
That's really great. That's a nice
love
touch.
that. And then he says, you know, if someday you hear my voice, know that it is my spirit calling across time and space to yours. Oh my god, Mewtwo. My heart.
Mewtwo. And then we cut to day. And the
bus
bus
is back.
picking up Professor and Luna.
No, Collins.
But they're like, actually, we're in love now.
Yeah. Yeah, the bus pops up, and she's like, I gotta take you back to town, right, Collins? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna stay here. We have more in common than we thought. And the bus driver's like, then why the fuck did I come all the way back up here?
Did you expect this twist? They're in love, Kellan.
That
And they're
sexual
gonna have
tension
a
was
whole
palpable.
bunch of baby Nidoqueens.
Ah, how sweet.
And then the gang's in a city, and
Hustle
everyone,
bustle.
and they're surrounded by silhouettes,
Yep.
people with no identities and faces, in some kind of ghost realm. And they hear a Mewtwo, but is it just a memory, or does he actually hear them? We don't know.
And then the narrator says, our friends continue on their journey, but in a faraway city, stories are told of a mysterious Pokemon who roams freely, but always by moonlight. As we get this really nice shot of Mewtwo overlooking a city at nighttime. And that is Mewtwo Returns.
All right. So
I do want to say,
Yeah.
it's such a weird thing for this whole premise of the movie to be set on Mewtwo being like, we're different. We weren't born. When the entire idea at the end of the first movie was Mewtwo literally saying, I see that the circumstances around one's birth are irrelevant. It is what one does with the gift of life that makes you who you are.
It is
And he's
a little bit
completely
of
forgotten that.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at least not violent about it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Well, the thing is, Kellan, he's okay with that truth as it applies to others, but he's uncomfortable with how it applies to
Yeah,
himself. So
exactly.
that's kind of interesting, actually, in a way.
I think Mewtwo just needs like a good therapist, honestly, to work
Yeah,
out his
he
problems.
needs a haircut and some therapy. You know what I'm
A
saying?
haircut and some therapy.
I know a guy who used to say that. I don't know why. That was one of the most redneck things I ever heard. But he was always like, "I need a haircut and some therapy." I love that line.
That's great.
That was kind of an inside joke, I guess. But
Ugh.
my sister says that all the time. Actually, need a haircut and some therapy.
All right. One last literary hour.
Yeah, so the trope I'm looking at is called Heal It with Water. This idea that water has healing factors. A lot of anime will do stuff like this. In Dragon Ball Z, they go in these like water healing tanks, and then okay, they can fight again. Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender with the water bending, there's actually healing powers in that. And also from the books, Percy Jackson, since he is Poseidon's son, he can heal when he goes into water. Interesting. And then going back further, there's in Celtic mythology, there's a Fionn Mac Cumaill who apparently offers to heal the mortally wounded Diarmuid by bringing him water cupped between his hands. But in his jealousy, he accidentally lets it slip twice, with Diarmuid dying before he can bring him water the third time.
Oh my god!
Ooh, tragic. So,
Also, don't forget your
water.
favorite of the Hunger Games movies, Catching Fire.
Yeah, I remember fuck all about that movie. There's water in that? It's called Catching Fire, not Catching Water, dumbasses.
They get these like really bad boils from a poison fog in the arena, but they find that the water is able to heal it. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
And also, BioShock 2. There's a fountain youth tonic. Makes water heal ya. Look at that.
Very nice. Yes, yes. Also, water healing magic in Chrono Trigger. Ooh.
What about Super Mario 64, where you can heal Mario by exploiting the game's health mechanics? And if you go underwater and back up, it'll be like, oh, you're full health.
That's nice. That's a good one. Yeah, yeah. Some speedrunning tactics. Very cool. Very cool.
All right, let's finish this rating.
Get out of here, Kellan. Let's pour this baby.
First one will be the variety of Pokemon.
Ooh,
there's quite a few Pokemon in this one.
Yeah, I mean, less so than the Lugia movie near the end when they're all standing there. But, I mean, you've got all the clones, so that's pretty good. Lots of Mewtwo action, all the bugs. And then you see most of Brock and Misty's Pokemon. Not as much variety with Ash's Pokemon, but, I mean, you've got copies of them in the clones, so that kind of works.
Yeah.
Not that many Team Rocket Pokemon, though.
None.
So decent variety. Maybe a little bit less than I would think for, like, the climax of a movie, though. But you do get all the water clones that pop up there, yeah, and all the bugs. So not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
I keep giving this movie kind of the same scores. It's fun, but, like, this is a 7, again, I think. It's good, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's up there. I'm going to go 7.4.
Yeah.
So that's a 7.2 for that, which, I mean, it'll give it a decent score for the special, so that's fine. Final category of the day. Oh, it's our Dave Coulier Cut It Out ball.
Oh, thank God. Actually, Kellan, now I'm going high because you heard me say a few times that there were very cutty parts in here.
There are very.
And there are even scenes that have like a bunch of cuts in there. Like, what about that part where he's like talking about the world, and then it's like shows like the planet from a bunch of spots, and then we're like NASA in space. And throughout these parts, there's all this stuff where like it's cutting between the water, and then it cuts to the lab being built, and then Giovanni's on a plane, and then 009 is scolding James and Jesse, and then the hose is on water. Like, it's just cutting like crazy.
Then we're in jail. Then we're out of jail. And booms, and then bug Pokemon, and boom, and that's a lot.
This is actually very high. I would go like a 9.5.
And then, there's a lot, like, at the end even.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna leave.
The last third of this movie is cutty as fuck.
Are forgetting everything. And Mewtwo's like, I'll make you all forget me. I was like, no. They make Team Rocket forget. So we go back to Team Rocket, who are like, we don't remember anything.
Yeah.
And then we go to the thing, where they leave. And then we go to the city, where Ash hears Mewtwo. And then we go to nighttime in a city, where Mewtwo's there. And then that's the thing. And then we hit credits. And so... yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm going 9.5. I'm going real
9.5.
high.
Yeah, it's pretty high. I'm gonna go 9.2.
Okay. Wow.
So that's 9.
This movie's gonna get a decent score.
Oh yeah, that's 9.35 for that. Overall, with character of the day, Jelly Donut Effect, not how the game works, repetition, Pokemon variety, and cut it out, Mewtwo Returns scores a decent 7.233 repeating.
Woohoo! Everybody celebrate. That's a decent score. All right.
It is, I believe, highest of all of the specials / movies.
Oh, of all the movies. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, Mewtwo Strikes Back got 5.5, anticlimactically. Power of One got 6.068. And then Spell of the Unknown Entei got 6.516.
And what about the Digimon movie?
Oh, the Digimon, that's farther down in the spreadsheet.
Oh, okay, sorry. Don't worry about it.
No, I was gonna see. Digimon movie got 7.28.
Oh, wow.
But we may have fudged those numbers a little bit because it was April Fool's. So
right, yeah.
It doesn't really count. Anyway, 7.233333333 for Mewtwo Returns.
Well, there you go.
I'm into. I thought it was a banger.
I mean, I like the first one better, obviously, but this was fun enough. Yeah, not bad. Kellan, are we getting back to episodes next week?
No, we're doing 3 more movies next week, actually.
Or we're doing the Die Hard trilogy. Okay.
So we're jumping back into some plot, some progression here. 2 more episodes with episode 183, A Ghost of a Chance, or in Japanese, The Burn Tower! Exclamation.
Ooh, we're at
Matsuba appears!
Cool.
Double exclamation. Followed by episode 184, From Ghost to Ghost, or in Japanese, Enju Jim! Exclamation. Ghost Battle! Double exclamation.
That is sick. Okay. Please join us next week. Thank you for listening if you got this far. We're in Eckerdy City next week. That's very exciting. I want to get into those. In the meantime, please engage with us. Hit that like button on YouTube, that sort of thing. Subscribe. On YouTube, we're youtube.com/HydraLeech. You can leave comments on the videos. Also, interact with us on any audio platform wherever you find podcasts. Intro and outro music is 80 Synthwave by Alexi Action. If you want to reach out to us about questions about the episodes, that sort of thing, you can hit us at 2killadelibird@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter. Handle is 2killadelibird. Kellan runs a TikTok. The channel is called Hydra Leeches, where you can find anime error videos and other fun stuff. And then occasionally we'll twitch.tv/HydraLeech, and he'll let you know when that's going up by Twitter. So if you follow the Twitter, and also subscribe to the channel so you know when he's going live, that sort of thing. Get some really fun live streams there. So, anything else, Kellan?
Yeah, if you made it this far in this episode, make sure you comment word for word. Damn, guys, I think it would be pretty poggies if you did a Die Hard recap.
There you go.
Peace sign emoji. Remember,
there you
peace
go.
Sign emoji.
And remember to contemplate on the grilled cheese. Become the grilled cheese. Flip the grilled cheese.
Also, how many grilled cheese makes a meal? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, does a meal even depend on grilled cheesiness?
Exactly.
Or does grilled cheese transcend a meal? Is the concept of a meal important when you've got grilled cheese in your life and in your heart? Please let us know. Grilled cheese is us, and we are grilled cheese. Kellan, say something about grilled cheese.
Yummy.
And that's what we end on.
Yummy in my tummy.